like on a rock the entire time. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do today is a few exercises I think can help with handstands. So this is what I used to do to improve my handstands, to get it up to like 30 seconds and more. So I would find a wall. This is gonna be a follow along, so we'll rep this. It's gonna be like a circuit, and we'll rep this maybe about 3 times. So the first exercise is just find a wall and then do handstands. Do your handstand there for about 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and do it. So make sure that you're actually looking at the ground, pointing your toes, and pushing with your shoulders. So in my opinion, I never actually used to think about any of those things, but the wall can be a great place, a great foundation for actually getting good form. Like even when I went on it right now, I wasn't even thinking about form. I was just thinking about holding it. But like if you guys can actually start pointing your toes, lifting up your shoulder, like pushing with your shoulders, pushing through to your shoulders, and flexing your core and whatnot. If you guys can start thinking about those things right from the beginning, it'll be helpful towards later on. Okay, next. Well, let's say you can't do that. One pretty simple exercise that you can try to replace that is sort of like it's just like a plank, I guess, but with elevated feet. So you can either hold something like this. Try your best to make sure your shoulders are right above your hand, and then like get a level higher. So if you can do something like that to replace the wall handstand, if you don't have that, that will be helpful. Next exercise that I think is actually helpful for handstands, it's not really directly related because for handstands you use shoulders, but if you work on push-ups, I think that'll help. So the routine will be 30 seconds of handstands, and then just do however many push-ups that you feel like is not max, but like a fair amount, to the point where you know it's not like too much, but it's not too little. So for now, let's just go with 15. Okay, sorry, somebody's backing up. And if that's too easy, if doing push-ups is too easy for you, you can essentially do what we did over there, but in push-up form. So let's just try it on one of these things. So it's the same sort of position. But it's supposed to emulate like handstand push-ups instead. You just have your legs not exactly above you. And those are the 2 main exercises for me that I do in order to get like where I got to handstands today. Honestly, mostly wall handstands, and then after that, what helps with getting balance, the only way you can get balance is actually doing it off the wall. Don't rely on the wall way too much. So let's go ahead, move on to the 3rd exercise, and that'll just be 3 exercises for this circuit. So the 3rd one is simply trying to find a balance in the air. So when you initially do handstands, it's going to be kind of scary, but because you're afraid to fall over, you're afraid to fall to your side or maybe even collapse and hit your head. But what you should do at first is take it really easy so that it's not scary. So just hands down, like shoulders flexed. And then just wave your legs one by one. So kick with whichever leg is first, then the second one, then bring the first leg down. And what you want to try to do is float there for as long as you can. You're not actually trying to do a handstand. You're just sort of like floating and feeling like the balance. So those are the 3 exercises that I think can really help if you're a beginner at handstands and want to get the handstands to like 30 or so seconds. So since it's a follow along, let's go ahead and run that circuit just 2 more times. Also for wall, one thing that I learned from watching other people do it is they suggest you do it facing the wall. So instead of what I did earlier, you would just this way your form is a little better and you don't arc. And usually the way I get out of it is just rotating, but if that's too hard, you're probably gonna have to like crawl out of it. I'm not sure. I've never gotten out of it a different way. But that for about 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and do the variation. So use one of these blocks and do some I honestly don't know what it's called. Pike position or whatever, push-ups. And then for these ones, I think 10 is a good number. And you could switch in between your legs, whichever one wants to kick first. In terms of like rest time, I think in between circuits you should probably rest a couple minutes. I think 2 to 3 minutes would be a good idea. So in between that time, I'll just do a couple of hand hops. This is part of my hand hop progression. So let's go with 2 hands first. I'm gonna hop and I'm gonna try to do 3 times now. Gotta adjust. I felt my form getting worse as each kick happened. So let's do that one more time. That was just one, but solid form. This is like the most tiring one so far. Try to go for 2. Not terrible, pretty decent. And then left side. Left side is really hard. Okay, that'll be it for the hand hop progressions. And let's do one more circuit. I do not know if I have the energy to do it, but let's do it. Honestly, for me, I prefer just jumping into it. Like, whichever way you guys think you'll most likely do, you should probably go for that one. Because the whole form thing, you can easily correct that like over time. Okay, that was not 30 seconds, but that's okay. I'm terrible at follow-alongs. Let's just go for a normal 15. And that was like way harder than I expected. All right, last one. Handstand waves. I'm just gonna call it handstand waves. It's 5 on, left side kicking first. Switch sides, right side kick first. And there's no particular reason for switching sides. One that I can actually think of is I kick on a different side to get into hand hops. So like getting used to both sides is beneficial. Okay, and that is pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that somewhat follow along. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.